Welcome to another Baby Theater. Today, we're going to be talking about Jiminey Cricket. Who's Jiminey Cricket, huh? Well, Jiminey Cricket, you see, he is a cricket. He is a cricket. Now, what's kind of weird about crickets is they're actually this delicacy in a lot of parts of the world. You can even find them at like beef jerky shops and things like that. They're just a bunch of crickets and you just eat them. Good protein, I hear. Sometimes they put like spices on them. And so there's kind of this hunt for the best crickets out there, and Jiminey, he's got a lot of meat on them bones. You know what I'm saying? So Jiminey one day was traveling, and he met this this traveling wizard. So since they were both traveling, they kind of went to the same hotel. But the thing is they didn't really have different sized rooms, and they actually forgot that they had signed Jiminey to this one room, and he was like, he had his bed, was the good old matchbox, They called it Matchbox 20. He called it Matchbox 20, And that was like the matchbox he lived in, and he slept in and everything. It's almost like a mobile home when you think about it. But you asked how he traveled, right, through the matchstick box. Well, what he would do is he would get inside the matchbox, and he would jump, and the force of that would actually make the matchbox move. And he actually had little wheels that he could put on it and make it like a mobile home. So he did that quite often. That's not how he traveled around. So it was pretty cool. Now, the thing about this wizard is he definitely tried to find any kind of scheme. Right? He's a very scheming wizard, and he used a lot of magic, but sometimes it wasn't even about the magic. It was more like the impression that he gave that he was the magician, that he was like a magician and a wizard. So sure, he could have cast fireball, and and he actually had a wizard text. Now the wizard text really didn't have any many spells in there. He had fireball, sure, and he had a couple other spells, but that's pretty much it. So it wasn't always right there where you could grab it and cast the crazy spells. And fireball, as a lot of people know, it basically can burn the hell out of yourself. So you don't want to cast it in a closed space. Well, anyway, he finds Jiminey, and he's and Jiminey's dressed up in some kind of zoot suit, with a cane. He's flipping his cane around, and all that kind of stuff. And then and then this wizard comes in, and the wizard, his name is Fallen, and Fallen's like, what's going on here? Why is there a cricket in my room? Why is he dressed like this? He had a top hat on. What is this? And so he gets the zoot suit on. He's like, ha ha ha, he's snazzy, and he goes, and then Fallen's like, what the heck is this? Who is this guy? Who is this guy? And he was about to cast fireball, but he remembered that if he cast fireball in this little enclosed area, he'd burn himself, And so Jiminey Cricket was like, well, what I'm going to do is I want to live here, but, only for a little bit because I'm traveling, but, I guess we can just bunk up together. But you know how it came out? It came out like, cricket, 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 cricket. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't really anything else. But it wasn't like anything, it was a real vocal voice, that people would appreciate, So he's like, man, this pest, but he was like, well, I can't cast fireball, so I guess I'm gonna go sleep. So he actually went. He goes to bed, and when they wake up in the morning, Jiminey's in his matchbook, and he jumps out, and he accidentally hopped so high that he jumped right onto the wizard's nose, and the wizard was like, woke up like that, and so the weirdest part about it was that the wizard really, you would think that he would, be used to this kind of stuff by now. So he's wizard, but he only has like one spell in his book, so it's not like it's not like he's this experienced wizard, And really, he kind of flunked out of wizard school too, so that didn't help. They said you get an A for arcane. And he was like, oh, great. And then they said, but you get an F for effort. So, it's doesn't even out, he flunked out. And so, then he goes, okay, well, he moved on, he started traveling the world. That way, people can think that he's like this great badass wizard when he's really not. That's why he learned Fireball, too, because, he could only choose one spell, and he skipped all the level 1, level 2, level 3 spells, he was just, going for the big spells. So he's like, oh, it's Fireball time, and, but anyway, Jiminey, was on his nose and startled the wizard awake, and the wizard was, instinctively, was just Fireball, and immediately regretted it. He hit the ceiling, flames everywhere, the whole place got torched up. His face fell off, melted off, and his bones burnt to a crisp. He was just basically ash. And but the funny thing is that as he was burning himself, he actually roasted the Jiminey Crickett real quick. And if Jiminey fell into his mouth, it was the best thing he tasted. The best and last thing he tasted. So then the hotel manager, he's pissed off. He's like, what the hell? This isn't worth a $100 deposit, right? But he noticed they had his credit card on file. So he was like, oh, well, what if I just go and spend a bunch of money and try to make up some of this stuff, because he didn't have hotel insurance. Can you believe this guy? He's super cheap. He's basically trying to make his way. He's trying to scam everybody. Doesn't even do the basics, bare necessities of business. And he's like, hey, this is my hotel. Stop firebombing it and shooting fireballs out. This isn't Mario Brothers. And so he was like, what I'm going to do is I'm going to he says, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a fake insurance policy from these goons that he knows. And the goons, I mean, they knew him pretty well at this point, because, he didn't get insurance ever, he was doing whatever, really scummy guy, and so he knew the underground real well, and he was like, hey guys, I'm trying to find this, the fake insurance policy, where do I go? And they were like, oh dude, we got you, can insure you for $3 million right now, and you get this fake insurance policy, and you just give it to the authorities, and that's that. So he goes, okay, well, I'm going to give it to the authorities right now. And so he gives it to the authorities, and the company that issued this $3 million insurance policy, it was kind of like a racket, And so in doing that, he kind of took out a loan for $3 million almost. That's how it worked. And so instead of really, having all this money, he actually had $3 million in debt to this mob area, or whatever, the criminal underground. But what he did was he got one of those mediums, right, to try to reach out to the wizard. And so the medium was like, okay, I'm gonna reach out right now, and was like, ooh, he was a wizard. He knew one spell, fireball, and he burnt the place down with it because a cricket jumped on his head. And so I'm gonna call him right now. Woo! And once she called him, what ended up happening is that he came and he like possessed her body, and he was like, fireball, and it cast another fireball, blew up even bigger section of this hotel, and also blew up everybody around, blew up the owner also. Is that what you want to wear? Okay. Is that you like that? Oh, does that feel good? So then the next thing you know, he's the next thing you know, he's like, he's on fire too, and but he was thinking it real quick, because he had a bunch of ice. But the problem was the ice melted so fast that he just got all wet, then burnt to death. So it's pretty crazy. I mean, you would never think that a medium would be able to do that. A medium would be able to call forth a spirit and then have them cast fireball. She wasn't even a wizard. She was just like a kind of a cleric. But yeah, I mean that's what kind of happens. But yeah, I mean, end all be all. Someone somewhere found out that grilling crickets is delicious, and just continued to market it to really no one. I've never seen a commercial for eating crickets, or anything like that. So really they didn't do anything with the marketing, but somehow it still gets sold every day. So that's fun times. That's pretty much it.